Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to the corner. My name's Brownie, and today I have here with me
Dakota.
How you doing? And we are going to be looking at the Book of Many Things, as you see off to my left. It just came out on November 14th. It has a slew of magic items, monsters, and a bunch of different goodies varying from players and DMs. But today, each of us chose 5 monsters underneath CR 15. We chose not to go higher than that because that's where we get into more boss and named monsters. But nonetheless, as a disclaimer, as some of you may know, I've just informed Dakota as well, there was a manufacturing issue at Wizard of the Coast. So even though my pre-order did not come through, I still have my own deck of many things from Hit Point Press, I believe. No, Game Master's Merchant. Got this off of Amazon, and we're going to be showcasing those cards in place of the book. Other than that, Dakota, who do you have up first?
I've got Ottowan coming in at number 5 on my monster list, and it kind of feels right to have him start off this list of ours because when it all comes down to it, he is the holder of the deck of many things, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he has his own 13 to 22 card deck of many things.
So the description for Ottowan, he is a Nilbog who's been possessed by a trickster spirit, and to me that's kind of funny because it instantly reminded me kind of like if Peeves from Harry Potter had possessed one of the house elves. So it's just kind of a little funny thing that makes me giggle when I think about him. But the reason why he's on my list when it comes down to it is because he's going to be somebody that can be a quest giver of sorts to low level parties, and the ultimate reason he's on my list is because he's not somebody your party is going to want to mess with
at all.
He's a problem if you decide to get hostile. One of my things that I didn't realize on him, he's got a DC 12 charisma saving throw that players that are that attempt to damage Ottowan, they have to pass that. Otherwise, they're charmed.
Oh, wow.
And if they fail that, they spend the turn praising Ottowan.
In the midst, you raise your sword up, and then all of a sudden you're bowing down to this Nilbog.
And then here's the thing. If you do manage to hit Ottowan, he's got a reaction, Reversal of Fortune, to where he'll reduce the damage to 0, and then he'll heal an average of 9 hit points.
Could you imagine being a paladin, going up and getting a critical smite on him, and for him to be like, you know what? Nah.
It'd be a problem.
It is a problem. It absolutely is a problem.
So
Who's
coming in at yours?
I chose a CR 1/4 creature. I know a little lower than your CR 2, but I chose the Aspirant of the Comet. And if you know what this normal cultist is, it's a very pale stat block. You got a normal spear doing an average of around 6 hit points of damage. However, what I chose was their Hunger of Void ability. These things, they are cultists. They are zealots in there to the stars, to these aberrants. And as soon as they die, they're not leaving behind their body. No. For a DC 11 strength saving throw, you are going to be pulled into a void as they kind of explode in this black hole and grab you and pull you in. And yes, indeed. It is this one, actually. Thank you for that. I forgot to show off the Jester card for Ottowan. But for the Aspirant of the Comet that is connected to the Comet card, these are Heralds of Doom, and this is just a glimpse of what's to come down into whatever cult or fanatic plan that they have. And again, if you're a level 1 to 2, this is the average of 10 necrotic hit points, 3d6 necrotic. I wouldn't want to ever be a fighter or a paladin next to this thing.
Now, and let's take a quick time out here, maybe for new players that are coming into this. Where exactly do these cards come into play?
These cards are part of the deck of many things, as you see from the book of many things themselves, but it is a legendary artifact, and every time you draw one of these, instantaneously an effect happens. But now with this new book, they've connected creatures such as the Nilbog of Ottowan or the Aspirant of the Comet and all of their cultists connected to the Comet card. You're going to see a reoccurring theme to each of these cards as well, especially when we get to one of your end ones, my favorites. We'll get there. Don't want to spoil it yet.
All right.
But number 4, who do you have coming in, Dakota?
I've got the Fate Hag.
Ooh, this is one of my
Fate
favorites.
Hags, because there's definitely more than one.
Indeed there is.
The original reason when I started reading about these lovely ladies.
Lovely is a term I definitely would not use, but continue.
Well, I mean, the ones from the Feywild.
Yes, you know what?
They might not be. There's something that they might be better to look at than the ones from the Shadowfell. In my defense,
yes.
But they originally, like when first reading about them, before you see the artwork, for me, I kind of thought about the ladies from Hercules.
Oh, yes, with the strings.
Yes. It kind of made me, that's kind of what I thought of. Mm-hmm. These ones are so much worse. They are, they're just not. You don't want to mess with them, I don't think.
I feel like the general consensus with hags is you're not there to fight, but if you get into one, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, they've got legendary actions.
What CR is this? I believe 4.
I believe so.
Yes, they are CR4.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost positive you are correct in that.
Yes, they are. CR4. These things are terrifying, by the way.
They've got legendary resistances that they can use twice a day. So if they fail a saving throw, they can just they can choose. They not just re-roll, choose to just succeed. They just say no. Oh, fate says I fail. Nah. It's not something you want to do. So like, I'm not entirely sure. I don't have as much DM experience. How would you use those as a DM?
I would early on plant this seed as like the beginning of an adventure and make sure that this fate head is touched to your soul. Anything that they want you to do, it's a little twinge on that string of theirs to give you a little into your paint, just to make sure you're reminded.
Because
don't mess with them.
They can glimpse others' destinies when truths are revealed to them, and they're compelled to speak on what they see. So I can see how that would make for a interesting
it could start out the Fey Hag. Yes, it could start out with the Fey Hag telling the party of their deaths, but now the party is going to go through this entire campaign trying to prevent that. But that was the Fey Hag's plan the whole time, to tell you about it. Plant that seed in your head early. It's scary.
Truly, it's almost like an early evil could end up being the ultimate evil.
Exactly, yes.
That's wild.
Sticking with a more saddened and depressing theme coming off of the Skull card.
This makes me sad.
We have one of my favorites, the Harrow Hound. This lovely, lovely dog has one of the more sadder stories I've read in a monster manual. The Grim Harrow, these Grim Reaper-like paladin order, they infiltrated the Fey realm at one point of the Gardens of Delight. And in the Gardens of Delight was the home of these glorious blink dogs. These dogs that roamed, there was thousands of them. They could do little teleportations, they'd come up onto your shoulders, and these Grim Hollow met them with nothing but death. The undead invaders slaughtered these blink dogs and settled in the gardens, transforming the Demon Plane forever. And in time, the necrotic magic animated the corpses of these blink dogs into the very first Harrow Hounds.
Ooh.
These things, they keep their blink. They have this shadow step ability, so they can come in, bite you, and step right back out without you trying to hit them.
That's a nightmare for melee.
Being a
melee fighters.
Being a CR3 creature, you have 4 of these things around. They have advantage on all their attacks. Could knock you prone, and you can't swing at them because they're all 4. It's going to teleport away.
So tell me what happens if they already have advantage on attacks and I'm knocked prone.
It just hurts worse. It doesn't necessarily stack, but it just hurts worse.
That's just not what you want.
And no,
as an adventuring party, that's not something I would be apt to run.
Well, I'm so glad that you said that, because one of these new abilities is a supernatural tracker. As soon as they get a scent of you, or even 30 feet of you, now they know where you are as long as they're on the same plane. They are going to be hunting you if you run forever. And the only way to get away, if you're on the material plane, you better teleport to some different plane, buddy.
What if you don't have the ability to teleport?
Get ready to defend.
Not every party has the ability to teleport, unless I'm mistaken.
Get ready to defend a horde of Harrow Hounds coming at you nonstop.
That almost... You know those levels of zombies with the Hellhounds?
Yeah, yes. That's
what it
feels
nonstop.
Like. Just nonstop.
That's what it feels like.
But we're going to continue on with our next, pulling out the Rogue card. And actually, both Dakota and I have a monster that's both connected to this card,
Shared
but
by
yet
the card.
different. So,
Yes.
Dakota, who do you have up first?
Well, I've got the worst kind of assassin.
What's that?
An ambitious assassin.
The ambitious assassin.
I've got nothing's worse than somebody wanting to kill you, but then being extra ambitious about it. Does that make sense?
They have a certain extra drive
to
make sure your life ends.
So basically, if I'm not mistaken, as a player, you meet Odilwyn, and he lays out the deck of cards, and you get tempted to draw one, because there are good things that could happen with the cards.
There are, and it's more often than not, actually. But the bad ones just hurt a lot.
So you draw a card thinking that you're going to get riches, good fortune, amazing gear. I don't even know. But instead, you get an ambitious assassin. Hunting you down. So they've got legendary resistances. They've got a poison blade. They've got a reaction that is an uncanny dodge that they can, when they see the hits, when an attacker the assassin can see hits the assassin halves the attack damage. They just have it.
That is the staple of rogue abilities everywhere, and to have that on an enemy, not only a normal enemy, but a boss, that's just another resistance on top of their extra.
And it's a reaction.
Yeah, every turn.
So I mean,
every single turn.
Your paladin smite, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll know it's half that damage.
Your barbarian raging.
Oh man, big ol' axe coming down. I'll half that.
Half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a good.
Really puts into the longevity of keeping this thing around for a while as an enemy.
And that's the worst thing about it, in my opinion, is. That's if the assassin comes after you.
Mm-hmm. So let's say that now you've hit me a few times. I need to come after you to put you out of. I'm done with you tracking me down.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go. I need to track you down.
As a player, I feel like that's a natural reaction.
Absolutely.
You're getting harassed by this NPC that has clearly got it out for you. Mm-hmm. You should go to the source and put it out of its.
You don't want this thing chasing you. So what happens?
You got a party behind you. You've dealt with things before. Don't go to this thing's lair. You need to lure the assassin out.
Has a lair.
Don't go to the lair.
So normally, for those that know,
don't go to the lair.
If you go to their lair, their CR goes up by 1. So this was a CR 5 creature. So then it's going to be a CR 6 if you encounter it in its lair. What happens?
So many things.
Many
things. There is first off, I have to scroll. I have to scroll. All right. There's lair actions. There's a distraction. A distraction. A shrill sound. I'm sorry. Fills the air. Creatures that can hear it must succeed on a DC 15 con save or lose concentration. So spells that you're counting on to help buffs, gone.
And your Warcaster does not work on that because you didn't get damage. So that's a single straight con. That's intense. Wow. That right there is scary.
Hidden snares can target up to 3 creatures the villain can see in the lair.
Mm-hmm.
Each creature then has to survive on a DC 15 strength.
I see a big snare coming down and picking them up and just dangling.
Or they're grappled.
Exactly. Yes.
Grappled.
Can't move.
Restrained until it escapes, or the snare holding it's destroyed. The snares, they've got an armor class of an 11.
So you have to hit.
So I mean, you're wasting a turn to get out. It's not a guarantee.
Exactly.
It's not a guarantee with an AC 11. It's just not. You know what I mean? Oof. I've played plenty of games with a +5 longsword, and I still miss a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then we've got regional effects that this layer corrupts the land around it. Oh, it's horrible. 3 miles around the layer. It affects the land for 3 miles around it. It's got potent toxins. It's just, you can read more about it.
You want this thing to get lured out of its lair, is what I'm hearing.
That's what I told you at the beginning.
Don't go after this thing.
Don't go after this thing in its lair. It's not, unless you unless you are unless you have somehow managed to avoid this thing, in my opinion, and you are like a level 12 or 13 party, like consistently.
Well, let's take that into account as well. This ambitious
it says a CR6 in its layer, but like
normally you'd encounter that at low levels.
But even I'm telling you, I don't know. Maybe I haven't played enough D&D in my life, but even at a higher party level, it doesn't feel like a guaranteed win inside the layer.
And that's a good thing that you want, even from a CR5 creature. You want it to be challenging all through the game.
Man.
And that continues on as we can with the rogue card. I chose the Enchanting Infiltrator. This is more of a Feywild, get inside your head, back lines type of rogue. This one is going to become your friend and then stab you in the back.
Those are the worst kind.
Yes, and this
the
one...
ones that you trust, you don't see coming.
And the same thing, it has some Poison Blades. It has all the same lair and legendary actions as your CR5. However, this one is a CR10 creature. Same lair actions as yours. It does have a Beguiling Whisper that if you fail a Wisdom saving throw, you are now stunned as it stares at you, draws its Poison Blades, and 2 advantage attacks right on you.
Oh.
It's terrifying. So not only can this thing tell you to a false Hydra, run you off your wrong path, it'll corner you, stun you, stab you. This thing is... The combos that you can pull off with this Enchanting Infiltrator are... insane. That's why it's coming in on my number 3.
That sounds like a player character killer.
Is
what it sounds like.
It does too, and it's one of my favorites. I think that's why I could not find another infiltrator, like a hidden agendas type of NPC like this one for its potential. I really like this. The rogue card has 4 different stat blocks associated to it, CR5 or 3. The other one only improves on this, but that's around the CR15, and we decided not to go that high.
Correct.
But we're going to continue on with our number 2.
So,
Dakota, who do you have?
So this is one that as a player group, you may not necessarily fight these NPCs, necessarily. In fact, as a player, I'm almost tempted to join them. They're the Solar Bastion Knights.
The Solar Bastion Knights. That's right. These are connected to the Sun card.
And if now you can't see me because these Solar Bastion Knights are just so grand in their stature, so I'll
sorry.
lean over. No, it's not. No. It's fine. If I'm not mistaken, in the description of the Solar Bastion Knights, whenever a deck appears and the nearest knight of the order investigates. So whenever Odilwyn, because he is the spirit that is connected to the deck of many things,
yeah.
and whatever Nilbog he's possessed or that spirit, however deep you want to get into
right.
it. Whenever that appears, whatever realm, wherever, the knight appears.
Correct.
And starts to investigate.
Correct.
So wherever the deck is, the Solar Bastions are near. So I just think that's kind of interesting. And what I like also as a DM perspective, and the DM perspective then bleeds into the player experience, and which is one of the main reasons why I picked these guys, is because the book encourages you to mix up the races and the makeup of the knights. They're not all cookie cutter the same. You're encouraged to have give a
little flavor and characteristics to each one.
A nice little melting pot.
And it's nice that they give you like those options and those ways to change these NPCs too. Instead of having a flat line, this is what it is.
And so and another reason why I picked these knights as well is they have a spear that all the knights have, and they get to attack 3 times with that spear. A turn.
Yeah.
A 3-turn multi-attack with the spear. I mean, that's...
You don't want to mess with these guys.
You better get them on your side. You better ally with them figure some kind of common ground.
I feel like that's their general purpose.
I would not want to be on the receiving end of that spear. And I mean, and that's not all of it either. They've got a solar flare that is a recharge ability. They've also got some spell casting that they can do as well. And then one of my favorite things about them, they've got the aura of a protection to where the knight and each ally within 10 feet of it have advantage on saving throws.
Ooh, nice. That's really nice.
I'll always take advantage on saving
Absolutely.
throws.
So you're gonna want to be next to this guy.
So
this
now,
is definitely a boon. You want this
now
guy
obviously,
to be
I guess PSA, it's suppressed while the knight's incapacitated.
Oh well, yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Carry 2, not 1. There you go.
Exactly.
Solved.
There we go.
Granted, that could be hard to do if your DM's going to follow things by the book, because technically it says it's rare for knights to work together outside of their headquarters.
So if you see one of these, they're mainly by themselves.
That could be hard, and it makes sense. And I almost feel like they did that on purpose, because if you think about it, it'd be really OP to have 2 of those in your party.
6 attacks.
6 attacks on one. You know what I mean?
Adding divine damage to all of those.
I feel like if your DM allowed it, your DM's basically just saying, I'll allow it, but I'm going to throw like 10 more monsters at you per encounter. Yes. Careful what you wish for if you're a player.
I love the Solar Bastion Knights. The Sun card, everything around them, it's super nice. I would join them as a player.
I would too, honestly. Like, they are a faction that I honestly think that as a DM, if you opened up that route to your players, that is something that you could really dive down a deep rabbit hole and stuff. I mean, you could have a whole, that's a whole campaign right there
by itself,
for
just
itself
that place.
If you wanted to dive into it. So, not that I just gave you guys an idea, but hey, you're welcome. So,
moving on to number 2 of mine, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Talon card. That is right, for those of you that know what this bad boy does. As soon as you draw this card, Dakota, all of your magic items are taken away, broken. They are no longer a thing.
So you're telling. So I mean, let's just pretend that if I'm not mistaken, like low level parties 1 to 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
First tier.
So let's say that for some reason you start a campaign, and for some reason your party goes about and somehow you end up doing a ton of side quests and stuff like that before you actually get to Ottlewin and actually have the deck of many things, blah blah blah. So let's see, you do that, you get to like level 4 before you meet Ottlewin. That's perfectly that's
still good.
That's within the realm of possibilities.
I have a nice flame tongue greatsword on my back that's always on fire. I have this plate armor,
and you've gotten lucky as a player, and you've gotten nice things. You draw this card.
Oh, look at this. Ottlewin has a deck of many things. I'll go ahead and choose, the Talon card. And that sword on your back extinguishes. That armor of yours fills away.
What? No.
And just like taking away, nullifying, and suppressing those magic items, there is a beast that is connected to this card. Specifically, I chose it not only for its looks.
You don't just lose your stuff?
This beast is going to be able to hunt you down for drawing this card. It has a certain scent, a certain tracking mechanism.
This almost feels worse than the Ambitious Assassin.
This thing is called a Talon Beast. It is a CR7. It is a hairless-looking vulture with 4 appendages. I had to put this on the list just for its looks.
You could have turned it around the other way.
Oh, sorry about that, buddy. Here, let me just go ahead and... Oh, sorry, my bad. It is a CR7 creature. It has magic resistance. Every spell that you throw at it has advantage to save against, which is super nice. I wanted to highlight one of its attack abilities, which is its beak. Average of 17 damage with the +9 to hit. It's this CR7 creature. It's not messing around. The rider effect, though, if you fail this charisma save, a random spell effect on you ends. Let's say you're hasted by your wizard. Let's say you're enlarged.
Just random.
But if it's 1, that's the only one.
That's the only one you have.
So let's say you have a magic weapon. Somebody put magic weapon on your basic sword. Oh, that's gone. You're a 10-foot-tall giant.
So you've already lost all your magic abilities. So then, let's say you get buffed somehow, and then they take that away too.
It just takes the spell away.
What is this card's problem?
It wants to grab every piece of happiness and grabs it away.
Where does it take that magical energy? Where does that go?
Who knows? That's for your own DM to interpret in your own aspect.
I'm kind of sorry I asked.
What I wanted to highlight, though, of its lore is it can sense the presence of magic and feed on it.
That's what I'm saying. who's feeding on it?
Exactly.
Where's it going?
Where does it? One of the things was
there's some demon out there feeding on that. You
many
can't tell me
scholars,
there's not.
many scholars agree that there's a link between the Talon Beast and the Talon card.
Who controls? Yeah, there's some evil demon out there that made the Talon Beast.
And like we know the God of Fate created this deck, but
this thing didn't just pop out. Like
Or did it? Because that's where these things come into play of what came first, the card or the Talon. Because the card itself, which destroys all magic items, is possessed by anyone who draws it. They also take away the spells and the abilities.
Look how big those paws are. Like
that's grabbing your face.
Oh.
The Talon Beast, everybody. CR7. Use it and have fun.
No, don't. You're saying have fun to a very small group of people there. I just want you to...
You all have fun. You all will have a great time. Everybody else, panic. We're coming in our number one.
He's telling a small group of people to have fun. He's telling a larger group of people, shit your pants.
And this is the one I've been waiting for. I love both of our number one picks. You go ahead. Who do you have first?
I have Holgaz.
This one is connected to the Flames card, and just like the Rogue, there are 3 associated stat blocks. Holgaz, why don't you tell us about this fiend?
So, I'm not going to go fully into her description because, again, that's another one I got to scroll on my phone. But when you get the Book of Many Things, everybody, when you get access to it, I encourage you to go through and read it because it's very interesting to me. Maybe it'll be interesting to you. But she is a devil who hails from the stinking swamps of Minaros, the 3rd layer of the 9 hells. So, she is a tempter that corrupts mortals' souls by offering them tantalizing, ruinous boons. So, she directs an entourage of succubi and incubi to the material plane in search of vulnerable mortals. And then when she finds a certain, very tempting one, she'll visit herself.
Ooh.
And... let's just say that as a player, if for some reason that just happens to be you... Let's say you draw a certain card. You don't... This is basically like Auto-win again at the beginning of the episode when I told you guys you probably just want to play nice and just don't, because it's not worth getting in the fight.
What CR is Holgaz?
I think 14, if I'm not
14,
mistaken.
wow.
I'm not sure. Would you do me a favor and just...
Bam. CR14.
That's
indeed.
what I thought. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you for... Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to
You're all right.
I didn't want to mislead the people.
You're going to be encountering this in your 3rd tier of play. If DM throws this at you at level 5 to 10, your 2nd tier, it's not impossible, but don't make her mad.
Okay. No. No.
Don't even do that. Just don't encounter Holgaz.
She's got crazy damage resistances.
Mm-hmm,
you don't want to get into it. I mean, there's so many things that you think you're going to do something to her, even if you manage to get an attack on her. And then just to be told that she's got a resistance to it, come on. That's the worst. That's...
just feels like whatever you do is not succeeding.
You just realize that, oh crap, I just started a fight. I probably shouldn't have.
Yep.
Because... it's a crazy AC, and then just a crazy list of damage resistances goes on top of it.
I expect it from a fiend like this.
And then, obviously, it's a devil. She's a devil.
Yeah, exactly.
She's a devil. So, she's got multi-attacks. She's got claws that hurt. She's got an intoxicating sting.
Ooh, that's it. Stinger that you all saw. Don't even get close to it. You want to stay at range?
It kind of reminds me of Scorpion.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From Spider-Man?
Yes.
It's not...
Absolutely.
You wouldn't want to...
How would you want to fight her as a player? What would you want to try to do? If you are backed in a corner, you and your party, what would you even try to approach her with?
Maybe I'm just a weenie, but I would probably just try to side with her.
Really? You want to be with the...
I don't know.
That's a warlock pact right there. I love that.
But here's the thing, if you're a fighter or a rogue, or if you're not necessarily a warlock or something like that, would that work?
It could, if your charisma modifier is high enough. You could. There are some really good warlock spells that aren't damaging based.
Because she as a DM, for role playing whole guys, which again in the book it says so. She's witty, garrulous, and patient all at once, and she's well rehearsed. In a weaponized way to put her targets off guard. To where it's gonna work for her benefit.
Yes.
And I feel like she wants to corrupt the selfless heroes and true martyrs.
That brings her joy.
So
she doesn't want to kill them.
Exactly. So she's gonna want to corrupt you throughout. So I almost feel like as a player, unfortunately, like your best option, I feel like is to join her. Mm-hmm. But like let's say you have a paladin.
Doesn't want to. It's a devil. Why?
Obviously,
the paladin wants to take down the devil.
let's say that let's say as a DM, you've got a paladin up against the wall, and you tell them, I've got your party. I'll kill your party basically, unless you commit to me or swear to me.
That's what she's trying to do.
And and then she's just gonna turn that paladin inside out, basically.
What's worse, to just be slain by this thing, or be slowly corrupted to its nature? Because I feel like if you join it, that's what the end goal is going to be.
I feel like honestly, it depends on you as a player.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm the type of player to where it's hard for me to ever do an evil playthrough on any game.
Right.
Red Dead Redemption, Mass Effect,
yep.
Any of those games with like a paragon or like a moral system.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. It's so hard for me to be the bad guy.
That slider's all the way to the good side.
So terrible. It's I can't subconsciously can't do it. It's horrible. So as a player, I honestly you're basically either I don't know, like if you're low level and you go up against this thing. It's very much a choice for me, in my mind, of a rationale. Do I fight this thing and very much risk just losing my player character altogether? Or do I swear myself change loyalty to it, or however, you want to word that.
Yeah.
But then slowly lose whatever backstory you had, whatever goals you had, whatever anything like that, they're gone. She's going to make you hers.
What I'm hearing is reverse Parthenax. Parthenax was bad and he slowly became good.
That's what I'm hearing. Okay, I like that a lot.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
That's terrifying too.
It's horrible.
What's better, to be born bad or to be born good, or overcome your evil nature over time?
So you either die a hero
or live long
enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's great. Wow. Number one. Great number one. I absolutely love her.
Yep.
Coming in at my number one, we have our final. This is coming from. I'm just going to show you all the card first. Can
I just be honest? Please show the card.
Yeah, this is coming from the Void card.
Without the. Kind of looks like the worst hair clog in your shower.
Oh man!
Of your life.
That is the Void too. It really is.
I wouldn't want to pull that thing out of the
I wouldn't even call this monster.
I'd be calling somebody.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this monster the hair plug of Monster Realms either. This thing is
the hair plug of the Monster Realms.
Yeah, because it's sucking in your soul. It's putting a stop onto you have any plans as soon as you draw this.
Sucks in souls.
As soon as you draw this card, normally
Whoa.
You drop and your soul is taken out of you, pulled into a different realm.
So your character dies?
No, think of it as a permanent unconscious state. And now your party has to go to this different realm to find your soul that's trapped in a crystal, guarded by some sort of guardian.
So what do you? Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe this is gonna go too far. But as the player character, then what do you do while you're trapped in there? Do you do anything? It
is essentially the same as death. This is one of the most famous cards in the entire deck because of that purpose.
Oh my!
You watch your friend just completely collapse onto the ground. Their soul is taken out of their body, and the kicker of this.
I think this goes without saying, but let's just say that as a party, you have like a party of like, I don't know, 4 or 5. That seems like average.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? For
yeah.
a D&D group, maybe 3. I don't know, whatever. 3, 4, 5, whatever. Well, whatever you cool cats are getting up to.
One of them just take.
No, the very first one. The very first one draws a card. They draw that
The
one.
void,
and
the
they
void card.
I hope it goes without saying, but I think the rest of the now here's the thing.
I know what
Here's
you're
the
about
thing.
to say, and I'm going to disagree with you. The reason... Oh, no, never mind. Because I was going to say as soon as they draw it, it would disappear, but it doesn't. It goes right back into the deck. So, never mind.
No, then you can't tell me no. Now, if that's common, like I hope.
Normally it's not common.
But here's the thing. Like, now let's just say, I can very much see a scenario where that, like, the group goes into infighting. The four remaining characters go into infighting about, do we draw another card? Like,
Yeah, we just
and
watch
then-
them collapse.
Or, like, and somebody's like, no, like, you already drew that card, it can't go back in. Now, if nobody else in the party knows that it doesn't go back into the deck, then as a DM, you have a quandary there.
I'm putting it back into the deck.
No, did you tell the party?
Oh,
it went back into
absolutely
the-
not. You need
Then
to
exactly.
identify it first. You need to grab it and use the identify spell. You don't know what this is. It's a magical card, a bit of deck of cards.
So then let's just say, for funniness, you have another character that draws a card. They draw back-to-back void cards.
They're both their souls are hanging out in the
So
same
anyway,
gem.
okay, before the void. Okay, anyway, if I'm a player character, and I am presented with a deck of many things and Auto One's there, there's a very good possibility I'm telling Auto One to get lost.
I'm not. Dude, go away. Get your cards away from me.
Like there's this whole video is 10 good reasons not to draw from the deck of many things. Like we'll cover some of the good.
There was 9. There was a sun card. There's
Okay,
the solar bastard.
Okay, yes. Unless you piss them off,
That is true.
then
That
you're
is
getting
true.
3 attacks per turn on your butt with a spear. But anyway, we'll cover a video of like the good things from the deck
Later
of many
on,
things
yes.
in a couple days. But this is 10 good reasons not to draw from the deck of many things.
I think this is number 1 because this void card, as we had just discussed, your soul's taken.
You're dead.
It's
Your
your party
dead,
has the
dead-like
option to
state.
choose: should we just leave him here or go try to free his soul?
Basically, you find out how much the other party members like you.
Essentially, yes. In that moment at the
Are
table,
they willing to go through are they willing to go through the headache of getting your soul back for your player character, or are they just willing to tell, or are they just willing to tell you to fill out a new sheet?
Exactly. And this could be a little push to not go and find it, because with the void card, there comes this little supernatural realm, demiplane now, that is in the Book of Many Things, that is specific to it, where all souls get trapped. There are a few creatures that roam this void realm that are the normal guardians, and that is my number 1 creature. This is called the Breath Drinker. This is a being that is completely made of shadow. It's an aberration from the far realms itself. And they consume all of the souls that have been stuck in there for a very long time. So you're on a very minimal time limit, or this thing is going to come through and
It reminds me of a Dementor from Harry Potter without the cloak.
take everything off. Look at those beady eyes staring back at you. That is what terrifies me the most.
That is a face that not even its mother can love.
Now let me present you with a debacle here. You see a creature completely made of shadow, right? You as a player, what is the first thing that you want to use against this? What's the first type of damage? You see a complete that's just necrotic, just shadowy figure.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to swing my sword at it, but it's probably just going to slice right through it and not do anything.
If it's not magical, it is indeed resistant to non-magical attacks. But
now, what if I had a silver sword?
if it's silvered and not magical, still doesn't count. It has to be a magical sword. Now, that's not even the kicker of why I chose this thing. Yeah, sure, it has 2 enervating claw attacks that if you fail a con save, your hit points are reduced by the amount of damage it does. Like if it does 30 points of damage, your hit points are now reduced by 30 points.
What?
Yeah, you don't. You even on you have to take a long rest for it to restart.
A long rest?
It has 2 of those. And on top of that, it can has an ability called Drink Breath, where if you fail a Charisma save,
that's literally like a Dementor's Kiss.
You'll take about 40 points of damage. Roll a d6, and your Charisma modifier is reduced by that.
What CR is this?
14.
So I mean, if you face this thing as like a level, What's the lowest you could realistically face this thing?
Realistically, level 1 and die in a hit. If you want to have a somewhat of a challenge,
I was gonna say
I'd throw it at like level 10, level 9.
I just recently, just I was playing a campaign and I leveled up to 3, and a human fighter. I know, so unique. I just now have 40 hit points.
It can do...
and that was with some really good rolls.
It can do a max of 56.
Oh my goodness.
With its drink breath. And then on top of that, let's say you dump your charisma stat, right? Let's say you have a 6 in your charisma. You're a barbarian. You don't talk much. You just grunt and you hit things really, really hard, right? This thing, after it sucks in your breath, you roll a d6. Let's say you're a barbarian and you roll a 6 on that dice. Your charisma modifier goes from 6 to 0, and you're dead. Oh. You die.
What?
But it doesn't end there. Until the breath drinker dies, the dead target cannot be returned to life. If you cannot be revivified by any short
so
spell.
You're dead
until you kill this thing. It could drink the breath and then run away. Your friend cannot until you chase him down and kill him.
So if it gets away,
that's a death.
That's a dead
That's a death.
That's a dead death.
This thing has a natural invisibility to it, which is also scary. In a realm made of shadow, it's getting advantage on all those attacks. Now, I've already told you a slew of information of this breath drinker. This is where I wanted to highlight. Normally, a paladin would be amazing against this creature. It's a shadow creature. You want to use radiant damage. Normally shadow creatures are vulnerable. You'll get double the damage dice.
Or I remember playing a cleric that had a lot of. I was pledged to a sun god.
Yes.
That would be nice too against this thing, right?
Unfortunately, not, because this thing has a radiant absorption. When the breath drinker is subjected to radiant damage, it instead takes no damage and heals that amount of hit points that you do.
You
hit a critical hit on your smite. You do 6d8, almost 50 points.
And unless you're watching this video and you know that as a player,
you just healed him 50 points.
So that's reason number 1 to watch our videos, because we're going to give you the insight that you need, because that is going to piss you off if you do it.
The first time that you do it, you're not going to do it again, but damn it, it's going to sting.
Especially if somehow you've managed to actually, like, let's say, God forbid, you somehow have managed to get this thing like below health. Mm-hmm. You got it bloodied,
and you think big divine damage right now.
This is going to be the thing.
Sunbeam on this guy,
and you just healed it back to full health. Like, that's going to make you more mad than when you're playing Pokemon and you've got the gym leader down to its last freaking Pokemon and you've got it critical and you just freaking breaks out a hyper potion out of nowhere. Use a hyper potion.
Bullshit.
Oh,
that's just the same feeling.
No, it's going to be worse.
It is.
It's going to be worse in my opinion, because you can heal your Pokemon back and go back to that gym leader.
That is true.
You can't, especially with this monster, you're not going to get your player character back.
That is true. Dang. Well, everybody, this has been 10 monsters from the Book of Many Things. We have decided to highlight. I know I had a good time.
I had a wonderful time. Thank you guys so much for inviting us into your homes, your phones, letting us take over a little bit of your time. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you were entertained. Jump in the comments. Make sure you let us know what you liked and what you didn't like. Tell us what your favorite monsters are from this list.
Yes, please. Anything that
we missed.
Tell
us anything we missed that you thought that, from your deck of many things that you think we should have included in our list. Let us know. And make sure to hit that like button as well. Thanks, guys.
See you later.